The first time I saw her, she stood at the far end of the pasture, thin, trembling, eyes wide with fear. She wouldn't come close, not even when I whispered softly or knelt down to seem less threatening. Her hooves were cracked, her coat dull and matted, and her ears flicked at every tiny sound. She had never been touched by kindness before. That much was obvious. But even then, even in that moment of distance and silence, I felt something. I didn't know her story, but I knew her pain, and I knew she deserved better. My name is Victoria, and for the last few years, I've had the honor of working with rescued donkeys. It's not something I ever expected to do with my life, but once you meet a donkey who's been through hell and still has room in their heart for forgiveness, you're changed forever. This particular donkey came to us from a remote property where she'd been left to survive on her own. No shelter, no medical care, no companionship. Just an open field and the slow, quiet passing of time. We don't know how long she was there. What we do know is that when she arrived at Longhopes, she was terrified of everything, especially people. You'd think an animal that's been so mistreated would shut down completely, and some do, but not her. She kept her distance, but she watched, always watching, curious in her own cautious way. She was scared, but not without hope. That's the part that gets to me the most. After all the neglect, the isolation, she hadn't given up. At Longhopes, we don't just care for donkeys, we talk to them. Every day, I walk into the pasture, and I speak softly, offering gentle words and affirmations. It might sound silly to some, but I truly believe it matters. I tell them, you are safe, you are strong, you are worthy of love. And I repeat it until the words sink in, not just for them, but for me too. Donkeys are deeply sensitive creatures. They feel your energy. If you walk in with frustration or fear, they know. If you bring calm and confidence, they reflect it. That's why I always ground myself before stepping into their world. I breathe, I settle, and then I begin. With her, it took weeks. I'd sit quietly near the fence while she stood yards away, never turning her back but never approaching either. Some days, I wondered if we'd ever move forward. But healing isn't a straight line. It's messy, uneven. Some days feel like progress. Others feel like starting over. But we keep showing up. One morning, something changed. I was crouched in the pasture, speaking to another donkey, when I felt the air shift. I turned, and there she was, just a few feet away, staring at me. She didn't flinch when I looked at her. She didn't back away. She just stood there. That was the moment I knew we'd crossed the first bridge. From then on, she began to inch closer during my morning visits. I started offering her affirmations directly. You are safe now, I'd whisper. You're home. Her ears would twitch, and though she never moved suddenly, she began to lean in. Slowly, steadily, trust began to bloom. I've worked with dozens of donkeys over the years, but her transformation is one I'll never forget. She went from a silent shadow to a bright, affectionate soul who now meets me at the gate every morning. She presses her head into my chest for scratches. She walks beside me like a partner. She even lets the volunteers brush her now, a small miracle, considering how terrified she once was of human touch. At Longhopes, stories like hers are not uncommon. We've rescued donkeys for over 24 years, and each one arrives with their own history, their own wounds. Some come from abandonment, others from cruelty. Many have simply been discarded because people saw them as useless. But no animal is useless, especially not a donkey. Our founder began this sanctuary after learning how many donkeys were being sent to slaughter. It's a dark reality most people don't talk about. These gentle, intelligent animals were being tossed aside, as if their lives didn't matter. But he knew the truth, and he decided to act. Since then, Longhopes has become a haven for the forgotten, a place where every donkey gets a second chance. Today, we care for over 50 animals. Some will be adopted into loving homes. Others will stay with us forever, especially the elderly or those with special needs. No matter their path, one thing remains constant: they are loved. And that love is what keeps me going. It's what brings me out every morning, rain or shine. These animals ask for so little. All they want is safety, stability, a quiet place to just be. And when you give that to them, they give back more than you could ever imagine. I often think about how many donkeys are still out there, afraid, neglected, waiting for someone to see them, to believe in them. And that's why I'm telling this story. Not just for the donkey who found peace, but for the ones who haven't yet. If her story moved you, I invite you to help. Support your local animal sanctuary. Share this video, spread the word, and if you're able, please consider donating to Long Hopes or any rescue that gives animals a second chance. Your kindness can be the difference between fear and freedom for a life that desperately needs it. And if you want to hear more stories like this, real stories of healing, hope, and the quiet power of love, please subscribe. Join us. Leave a comment. Tell us about the animals who've changed your life. Because sometimes the most remarkable journeys begin with a whisper, a gentle word, a hand extended, patiently waiting. And sometimes all it takes is a donkey brave enough to reach back.